Hello and welcome. My name is Heron Bob and welcome to Bob Buys, where I go to places like charity shops, thrift stores, and retail locations to buy stuff for hopefully really cheap to resell on sites like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. I am still under the weather, but that doesn't mean that we can't find some goodies. So I'm actually going to go into a smaller thrift store. This is not one of those big thrift stores, big chain thrift stores. It's not CHKD, it's not Salvos, it's not Goodwill. I'm going to a place locally called Village Thrift. It is a small hole-in-the-wall thrift store. It was by the campus where I went to university. So this is a place where I am familiar with shopping, but I haven't been here in a while. So I'm gonna go in here and see how much has changed and see if I can find anything to resell. Like my normal lunchtime thrift challenges, I'm only going to spend 30 minutes in here, and because I'm doing the listing challenge, we are going to be very selective about what I choose. So let's see if I can find anything to flip. So we have a bunch of books. I don't really feel like scanning books. And again, this is a 30-minute challenge, so normally when I look at books, I'm just looking to see if there are any Harry Potter hardcovers. If there are any Harry Potter hardcovers, I will pick those up and you can make a full 7-set bundle. Those are actually worth decent money. So it doesn't look like any of that is here. Nope. Alright, moving on. So the music in here is pretty loud. I'm going to try to find a quieter place to talk about these. So I'm in the denim, and I really like this place, how they display their denim. This would be one of the brands that I would look for, which is Miss Me, but they have it marked at an unresellable price. So that's not going to happen. But I do like the way they display this. It makes it much easier to look through them. Of course, that was the only one I found that would be worth reselling, so. But keep looking. This shopping trip was a complete bust. But that's okay. That entire thrift store has giant speakers. Like, you can visibly see them mounted to the wall, and so I don't know if you could hear me over the loud music, but it made it really hard to film. There was really only one area by the books where there was no music because it's an annex of the building. So this is like a strip mall, and the place where the loud music is the original part of the thrift store, and then where the books are was like something went out of business, so they cannibalized that part, so that part is different. I did want to talk about the mushroom mug. I didn't buy it, even though it was 28 cents, because I wasn't going to put that on my card. That seemed ridiculous, and I didn't have any cash with me, so I just put it back because I have a ton of those. Now, I always, except for this one instance, buy those when I see them. The reason I wanted to talk about them is because if you get them in a set of 4, they sell for a decent amount of money. You can get normally like $30, $35 with free shipping, or like $20 if you sell them in a set of 4. And then the buyer pays shipping. I've sold them more than one at a time at a set of 4. What I wanted to talk about is that there are multiple different soup bowls, and you also need to be aware that in addition to they're all vintage. Let's put it this way, they're all vintage. They were made in between the mid-70s, the original set, mid-70s, early 80s. They were freebies given away at gas stations for certain things. And you can tell the ones made in the 70s and 80s because they don't have anything on the bottom of them. If you see one that has made in China on the bottom of them, that means they are the 90s reproductions, because they were made again in the 90s as a set of 4 as a reproduction. So if you find any of those, they're still technically considered vintage, but they're reproduction vintage. You can also, if you get if you get an original one and a reproduction and put them next to each other, you can definitely tell there's difference. I have an original and a reproduction at home. I'm gonna go show you guys that real quick. Okay, so this is a perfect example. This is an original. You can see that there's nothing on the bottom except some crazing and obviously lots of wear, which normally is a good sign something has some age. You can see it's got crazing all throughout here, and that's typical for ones that you're going to find from the 70s and the 80s. This is still vintage from the 90s, but this is a reproduction. You can tell here that it's got the made in China symbol. It also doesn't have any crazing on it. And if you look actually and compare the two here, you can see that the reproduction ones are going to be taller, and they're also going to be like squished. I don't know how else to describe it. Like these are going to be low and squat, and these are going to be taller and kind of like squished. You can also see that the graphic is not going to be as good. The graphic on the original ones are going to be this nice rectangle. The reproduction ones, they're gonna almost always be lopsided. Like these four sides are not going to be straight. I buy both. You can sell both actually pretty well, like I said, in a set of 4. And they honestly fetch about the same price regardless. I mean, you can probably sell the original ones for like 20, 25. These ones almost always go for 20. But that was just a little bit of an interesting thing. I'm actually trying to just get a full set of the reproduction ones because I want to do a video series where I actually cook the soups on here because I think that would be really cool. So despite the fact that I didn't really buy anything today, hopefully you guys learned something, and then I got to also share one of my favorite things to pick up with y'all. So it's still not a bad way to spend 30 minutes. I mean, I like thrifting, so it's always a nice way to spend your lunch break. But I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video, and thanks for watching. Bye! Bye.